Who got a lot out of that? Who here now is thinking, maybe I should do multifamily syndication? Yeah. Who here already knew multifamily is the way to go? Yes? Who here is thinking multifamily is the way to go? All right. So we do something very special here every year where we focus on abundance. And abundance is a thing that you want more of because abundance allows for more things in your life like money, love, health, spirituality. Who here would like more of those in their life? Yeah. Who also noticed I changed my jacket? Anybody notice that? So I've been working out a lot lately. And I've been working out for a very important reason. It's not to be healthy. And it's not to live longer. It was solely, like Kim just said, to look good on stage. And I'm telling you, I feel great. Now, I don't care why you work out, but I'm going to use working out as an analogy. I don't care if you do it just to be healthy, like, good for you. Like, I don't know how you got wired that way, but, you know, it's a good thing. For me, I work out to look good. Oh, hold on. Don't give it to him yet. We're not gonna give it away. Let's give Phil and the guys in the back a big round of applause. We're gonna hold off on that slide for now. In fact, I'll get the clicker out of my hand so you're not tempted to run it up. So every year we talk about these things called affirmations. Who here has ever done an affirmation before? Well, we've got something called the Alchemist Manifesto. And if you look around the room, it's on one of these walls right over here. Who's heard of the Alchemist Manifesto before? Who's used this before? Excellent. Who knows this is a powerful tool to be used if used properly? Yes. So, manifestos in general, affirmations in general, are misunderstood. Very commonly, people will just say the words and hope they get rich. I'm a money magnet and hope it works. What Mike Shine talks about when he's talking about I'm a money magnet is you must feel like you're a money magnet. Now, what would be an easy way to feel like you're a money magnet? Just think back to a time where money just happened to show up in your life, right? You can convince yourself that you're anything just by thinking back to a time where at that moment you were that, right? Has anybody ever felt very, very, very rich for even at least a second? Has anybody ever felt that before? Yeah. Guys, it was the moment you locked eyes with your wife, right? We've all felt super rich before. So if you can think of that moment and attach it to the affirmation, said, I am a millionaire, is it more likely that you'll start believing it because you've got proof? Yes, absolutely. It works. It works in everything. So I'm going to ask you to pull up the most powerful tool you have of this weekend besides your mind, which, by the way, this is just an extension of your mind. We're going to open it up to this. Oh, yeah, has anybody looked at Mastery, like the price of it? Has anybody looked at that? Just look at the price. All right, so we want to pull out page 11. 11 looks like this. There's a guy on it who's doing this. I noticed today that when I do this, it doesn't fit so good anymore. Anybody seen one of these? Anybody got one of these? Rocking those? All right. So this is our Alchemist Manifesto. Now, as we say these words, I want you to feel them in a state of energy. It's not about just saying the words. It's about being in an energetic state where you do truly believe that you are what we're speaking about. Now, an alchemist, before we go and say, I'm an alchemist, I want you to understand the definition of an alchemist. Who here already knows what it means to study or understand alchemy? Who here would like to hear me say it anyway? All right. So alchemy is the concept of taking a person out of misery, sorrow, depression, competition, and moving them to a place of abundance, of having, of bliss, of enjoyment, of creativity. And that process does involve typically fire. So you have to move into the fire in order to purify, in order to become better on the other side, right? Back in the day, the idea behind alchemy was actually chemistry. How do we turn stuff into gold? It seems like man's search for wealth has always been around. We've like, can I turn lead into gold? Is that possible? Who here's heard of alchemy? You understand the kind of the mysticism behind it, but over the years, we've turned it more into like a spiritual side. Deepak Chopra is the first to say that it was about transforming oneself. In Alchemist Nation, we believe that we transform ourselves first so that we can then transform others. So we elevate ourselves, find a way to get ourselves to be at that higher level, resonating at a higher vibration, a better frequency, so that we can then go out into the world and serve at a higher level. First, you must get your million before you can start giving millionaire advice. We agree? Yes, I wouldn't want advice from somebody who hasn't made $1 million, right? Unless they're ripped and they're shredded, in which case I'll be like, how did you do it? Right? Because maybe is there a pill for that? No, there's no pill, right? There's no pill that you take to get shredded. There's no pill that you take to become a millionaire. But there are tools that we use. There are exercises that we can walk ourselves through. Exercises that we could use to make sure that we're successful. Who's here last year? Knows what I'm getting at? All right, stay in your seats. Don't anybody run. Don't tell anybody. So pull it out to page 11. We're going to stand up, and we're going to say these affirmations together. The first affirmation is, I am an alchemist. The second one is, everything I touch turns to gold. The third thing is, I take massive action to create massive action. We're okay with these so far. These are things that you could resonate with, that would be good for you to resonate with? Yeah. Yes? If there's something on here that doesn't feel comfortable with you, it feels like a lie, that belief system is the lie, and this is the truth. Is that okay if I deliver it that way? If I reference that way for the rest of the weekend? Do I have permission? Now here, you don't have to believe anything I say, just like T. Harv Eker says in his book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. You don't have to believe what I say, but definitely don't believe a thing you think if you haven't gotten rich yet. Does that make sense? It's all the stuff between the ears that makes the decisions that decide whether you're rich or not. So if you haven't gotten rich yet, at least just give it a try. Try the words on, try the ideas, try the actions, try the mingling, try the networking, try the talking to other people. Like Vinny said, it's really about just being a decent human being and pulling out your cell phone and telling people what you're looking to do. I could simplify success that small. But then it wouldn't sound sexy and it wouldn't sound complicated, and then your mind would be like, that's too easy, that's probably not the way to do it. Who's noticed that before? Right. So I will throw some technical at you in a little bit. To make it engaging and fun and exciting, I'm going to give you my real estate prediction so you can know exactly what the real estate market's going to do over the next few years. Would that be valuable as real estate investors? Yes. Would that be valuable as real estate investors? Yes. All right, then I'll do it. Okay. So let's stand up. With a level 10 energy, I want you to shout back at me. If you're familiar with the Bible, I want you to use that kind of energy, that Jericho shit. Like that stuff where you yell and like the walls start shaking. You know what I'm talking about? All right. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know, Google it. Go to church. It's good for you. All right, I'm going to say it, and then you repeat after me. We understand the instructions. I'm going to say it, and you? Oh, you're good. All right. I am an alchemist. Everything I touch turns to gold. I take massive action to create massive passive income. I am a millionaire. I create millionaires. I invest in myself, my talents, and I invest in my business. I invest in my network. My network is my net worth. I seek out and take advantage of opportunities. I live in a state of gratitude as I am grateful for all I have now and will receive. I track my net worth and celebrate its growth. I attract everything I desire and need to succeed. I love myself and I love my life. I am an alchemist. I am an alchemist. I am an alchemist. Turn to your neighbor and say, you are an alchemist. Give him a high five and say, yes, I am. All right, all right. Now, I love affirmations. I believe they're powerful. Notice we put some energy in them. You guys can take a seat. But I also like free things. And I like technology. Now, not all forms of technology are on a computer or on a screen. Some forms of technology are when we can take information and print it on a substrate that is not our brain. Because we know that sometimes our brain is not reliable. It doesn't always have those affirmations just ready for you. Who's noticed this? Yes. And as I mentioned earlier in my talk, I've also noticed that life is limited. I lost my grandparents who meant a lot to me. They were two of my best friends. And I realized that in life, there is a clock ticking at all time. And no matter what, no matter who you are, no matter how smart you are, no matter how healthy you are, no matter how rich you are, no matter how spiritual you are, no matter how many relationships you have, at some point, that clock will stop. So it's not about all of those fun things, is it? It's about while we're here, what do we do that makes us feel alive? What do we do that when we're gone, we know we did a good job? Keep this with you. Keep it in your wallet. Keep it in your purse. Put it on your mirror in your bathroom. But keep it somewhere close. This is my gift to you so that you always have this belief system. You can always seek truth when the world's lying to you. Even when your own emotions are lying to you and your mind is not telling the truth for you. We understand we can't always trust our emotions or our thoughts. Especially if we're not rich, right? If we're not rich or we're not in shape or we don't have the best relationship with our spouse, we probably can't trust our thoughts. Because something isn't right. You know, when I hang out with Mike Shine or I hang out with Vinny and I see how long they've been married and how happy they are with each other, I think, that is what a relationship looks like, isn't it? That's truth. And anything that I'm seeing that isn't truth probably comes from the lie that I grew up with. You know, my parents fighting over money, my parents fighting over just about everything. We understand? We can relate to these situations. We can understand how, you know, even if you had the perfect upbringing and your parents were amazing, that other people like us might not have had that, and so might not have that advantage. Can we do the handouts? Does everybody have them? You don't have these yet? Well, when I give a gift hard. Let's give the gift now. Can we get some music as we're putting the gift out? Let's be blessed and thankful as you're seeing these pass around the room. I want you to feel the gratitude, the thankfulness of receiving the truth, something that you can carry around that's going to empower you at all times. Feeling that alchemy flowing along your hand as it's passing from one person to another, feeling yourself giving more energy to the next person as you're passing them along. Notice that this gift that you're receiving is something you've always kind of known inside of you, but now you get to frame it a little stronger. Frame it inside a place that you can keep it for the long term. Who here now has one of these? Hands up. Who here still doesn't have one of these? All right, this side of the room's a little slower, so we'll pick up the pace. So as you're receiving this gift, again, focus on and intensify the energy, the positivity that you put and apply into everything that you do going forward, knowing that you are an alchemist, that everything you're doing, the struggle, the trial, the difficulties, it is all for you to learn so that you can one day pay it forward and share that knowledge with someone else. Every trial, every tribulation, it is all just a part of your growth process. Just like all of the stuff I went through earlier in my life, guess what it was for? This one moment on stage so I could share a really cool story. Was it valuable? Yes. Was it helpful? Yes. Excellent. All right. Now, I got this little clicker thing in here. We're going to see if this works. Boom! Real estate prediction. Who wants to know what's happening in the market? Yes? If I give you this knowledge, do you promise, do you commit to use it morally, ethically, and legally? To do no harm? Excellent. Well, notice that this prediction is for 2020 to 2030. Not much has changed. Not much has changed except for things have sped up a little bit. So we're going to go through a little bit. Interest rates, are they higher or lower? Yes, they are much higher. Are they likely to go higher or lower? Higher. Yes, it makes sense. The government, it's the only button the government has left to kind of hedge against inflation. The economy. Is the economy doing good or is the economy doing bad? Is the economy doing good or is the economy doing bad? Is the economy doing really good or is it doing really bad? Really fucking bad. So, that looks like a trend that will continue. Now, I will say, I'm not a stock guy, but I'm buying stocks right now. There it is. The economy has an impact on real estate because if the economy's doing bad, people don't have jobs, which means they can't pay for rent and mortgages. If they can't pay for, there we go. Government policies. Is the government fucking shit up on us? Yes! Hey! Is the government messing things up in our direction? Yes? Yes, of course. Are they messing it up for the little guy too? Our tenants? Yes, of course. Messing it all up. Hey, Crystal, I see you. So they're doing some things. And not just our government, other governments with other economies, like China. By the way, China, you think our real estate market's in a bubble? Look at the Chinese market. Man, it's in a bubble of bubbles. Ron was trying to describe the bubble the other day, and he's like, I don't know if there's enough bubble to describe the size of this bubble. There's just not enough surface area to describe how much surface area this bubble is taking in China. And we're going to have an impact because everything is made in. We make all of our stuff in. And who has a bubble? Like a bubble of bubbles. Yeah, it's going to impact us. You look at a lot of the supply chain issues we have, it's because everything comes from, yes. So government policies in China are a pain in the butt. Then you got technology. Ooh. Remember I told you earlier I was going to talk about the 4 types of leverage? First type of leverage is people leverage, it's labor. So you got labor, that's people. The second one is capital, which we were just talking about with syndication. The third one is, well, I could use that third. Yeah, we'll call it audience or attention. Who knows? It's a lot easier for me to sell something if I'm in a room full of people who are highly motivated to become successful, right? Yeah, it'd be a lot easier for you to sell whatever you're looking to sell if your full room was exactly your avatar. So audience is important. And then the last form of leverage is on the screen right now. Technology. Who here knows I use technology heavily to communicate with each one of you? I do, because it makes it a lot easier. All right, I'm going to there we go. All right, next. Oh, is technology changing? Is it now crazy? Like, so intense, way bigger, way better than it's ever been? We're going to go into why that's really important, because technology is changing the game too. Institutional investors. Do institutional investors buy real estate? Yes? Do they buy a lot of real estate? Yes? You have no idea how much they buy. They are buying in a crazy way. And so they're jacking up prices for people like us who use leverage, because institutional investors do not use leverage. They don't have to. Is there a labor shortage, yes or no? Down economy, labor shortage? What the shit? The math doesn't make sense, right? This is down economy, and yet we need more workers. Does anybody know why? Confusion, I like that. Okay, so this is an important fact for you to understand. The skills that we require are not the skills this nation has. We've got a bunch of people who are educated in an old system that doesn't work anymore. They're obsolete. And then we have a new system that's developed itself where we require people to level themselves up to experience alchemy and get to the next level. And there's jobs sitting there waiting for you. But if you were trained on the old style of things, you're SOL. We know what that stands for? There we go. Say it. Say it. Yeah. So, labor shortage. Migratory patterns. Who knows what these are? Basically, everybody's moving to Florida, right? Why did we come to Florida this weekend? It's because, just practice the path that's already been happening. Do migratory patterns, by the way, have an effect on real estate? Yes, a dramatic effect. If everybody is leaving one place, prices go down. If everybody is going to another place, prices go up. It's called supply and demand. None of this is complicated. We agree, yes? This is a simple process. You're smart enough to figure this out. Yes. I got nervous with that one. They believed in themselves right up until that question. All right. Oh, hold on. Yeah, fastest growing. Would you like to know what the fastest growing states are? Because if they're the fastest growing states, it's a good chance you want to be investing there before everybody gets there, right? All right, so here we go. Took you on the little dance of me figuring this button out. Utah, Idaho, Texas, North Dakota, Nevada, Florida, Washington, Arizona, South Carolina. There's no rhyme or reason, is there? It's just weird. They're all over the map. But there is. If you look at the states that are innovating the most, if you look at the states that are creating new jobs, you're seeing people shift into those states. You're seeing educated young entrepreneurs shifting into Austin, Texas. You're seeing educated young entrepreneurs moving into Tampa, Florida. You're seeing them move into Miami. Because those are the cities that are creating opportunity. It was just like South Florida, South Carolina, California. Where are my Californians at? Help me out here. Right? Silicon Valley over there. We've got new opportunities in other places. Las Vegas. Everybody from California is shifting to Las Vegas. You know why? Tax issues. Fuck if I know, man. I'll be real with you. George, I'm sorry. There you go, Blue's top 5. There it is. Because on the next slide, we got the top outbound states. I think that's an important thing to keep an eye on as we're investing. We don't want to invest in the outbound states. But at some point, those outbound states are going to be a great opportunity. We're catching it? If everybody's leaving, nobody wants it, very soon as investors, it becomes very sexy to us. Nobody wants it? Sounds like an opportunity. Top inbound locations, you guessed it. Well, Florida should be on there. This particular slide I'm not satisfied with. We're going to skip that slide. I don't like it at all. Oh, you know why? It's percentage of increase. The state has increased in percent. Yeah, if you had nobody, when 100 people show up, boom, massive increases, right? So that's good to know as far as investment of local assets. Demographics. This one is where it gets very interesting. We know that psychology-wise and as a species, we have generations. Yes? The generations think differently? Do the generations think differently? Yeah. Does anybody know what Atari is? Does anybody not know what Atari is? Yeah. The quieter generation, wow. And what about,
answering machines.
we'll go even further back. What about 8-tracks? Anybody never seen an 8-tracks in your life? Right? And then what about beepers? Does anyone remember the phase of beepers? Whoa! Yeah, everybody was cool and had one, right? Or didn't have one. It was like, you're cool. They lasted for like a year. Beepers were like 6 months, right? So demographics are really important. People make decisions based on their age. True. True or true, yes? People make decisions based on their age. There is a massive generation out there. There's actually 3 of them, massive generations. You got the baby boomers, you've got the Gen Ys, and the Gen X's, or millennials. Where are my millennials at? I call us Gen Ys. It's much nicer, right? Like, I feel like millennials got such a connotation on it. I don't feel like I fit in. Anybody, a millennial in this room, feel like you don't fit in? Yeah, because it's called the 100 Millionaires Summit. Like, millennials don't understand the idea of making money, so. All right, except for us millennials, the rare, the few. If you look at this chart, I'm gonna test this feature out. Can I get the screen? Is my mouse on the screen? Shit, look at that. Ooh, who owns all the real estate? Old people. Are there any of the old people in the room who are offended by that? Where are my old people at? Yeah, all right, keep it down, young people. Okay, I was told I was born with an old soul, so I'm offended. I'm bald. I look the same as all these guys. So the 65s and the 55s, they own all the real estate, and they're not letting it go. Have we noticed inventory shortage in real estate over the last few years? It's because they're old. They don't need to sell their house. They got no income. They can't go take a new mortgage. They've got to stay. Stop thinking the market's crazy and start paying attention to what's happening in the market. Right? You got a bunch of old people sitting in their house. They don't want to sell. They got no reason to sell. Where would they go? We grasp this, yes? They have no reason to shift their life. Then you've got Gen X. Gen X is right now on their second home. Gen X is that group of people who are in their 40s to 50s. 40s, 50s. They got kids now. They're like, the kids are going to college. My dad's a Gen X. And he's on his second home. Actually, he's on his first home. He started way too late. Sorry, Dad. You really should have started sooner. Here's the average buyers. 45 years old. That's Gen X right now. Gen X is at that 45 years. Yeah, give our Gen X a round of applause. Crushing it. All right. So baby boomers, this is the chart. You can take a picture of this if you want it. I was going to say, like, I'll throw these slides at you in an email if you're interested. Does anybody want that? The slides in an email? All right, just so you know, like, the first 10 slides are just one word on the screen. So, like, not a lot of information except for this particular page, which pretty Googleable. Just so we're clear. So 25% are in their 30s. So 25% of the buyers right now are millennials. So important to understand the demographics. Now this chart is where it gets interesting. The average person in America dies at 78 years old. Of course, COVID bumped us down a little bit. You can see that little drop at the bottom. Recently that did shift. We were on an upward trend of doing really good, keeping people alive, and then COVID was like, don't worry, next gen, we're going to be fine. All right, next virus will be like, ha-ha, we got you. We got respirators on lock. We know how to mask down. We don't call it lockdown anymore. We mask down. So try to keep it upbeat, but people are dying. The biggest generation that we have ever seen as a planet, as a species, right, since we've been on this planet, is dying. And they're going to be letting go of their favorite piece of inventory, real estate. And over the time that they're letting this go, there's going to be grief. There's going to be sorrow. It's typically going to be a woman who's the final survivor, because men, if you look at the chart, die first. Men, we're aware of this, right? Live it up! You've literally got like 2 years less. So if you're thinking when she's finally gone, you might be in delusion. You might want to just live your life now, because you don't get those last 2 years. She's, on the other hand, when he's finally gone, that's accurate. That's real shit. All right. Why this is important? Because the market has cycles. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. We buy at the bottom, we sell at the top. We buy at the... We sell at the... Where do you think we are right now, if you had to take a guess? All right, fuck it. I'll just tell you. I thought we were here. I thought we were at excitement. I thought shit was like popping off and it was pretty crazy, but it goes up forever, doesn't it? Yeah. Who's been feeling that? Heard that in the marketplace. Goes up forever, just buy real estate. You got to buy, you got to jump in. Who's talked to real estate agents? Where are my real estate agents? Stand up, real estate agents. I'm also an 8. I'm not going to pick on you guys. I'm kidding. Come on now. We're real estate. Now, keep standing, real estate agents. We need you. Real estate agents build millions. Give them a round of applause, right? Without real estate agents, we're not buying real estate, right? If you don't buy real estate, you're broke, right? And don't try to tell me the crypto guys are fucking rich right now. Those crypto billionaires. You just became a crypto 200 millionaire. Choo, 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 choo. Man, crypto hurt these last 6 months. But real estate agents are brokering real estate deals. Don't real estate agents, stand up. I'm not done. Come on. Real estate agents, hey, standing is good for you. I've been doing it all morning, and I got to do it the next 2 days. I give you little breaks because I know you got the hard job of writing stuff. So realtors, we build millionaires. Say yes. Yes. Everybody in the room, look at your realtors. Say you build millionaires. Everybody in the room, look at your realtors, say, you build millionaires. Everybody in the room, look at your realtors, say, you build millionaires. So the next time you're thinking about not making that call to that prospect who's looking to buy some real estate, just think of the piece of shit you are because you didn't pick up the phone and call somebody. Realtors, sit down, everybody. It's okay. Think about it, realtors. If you're not making the calls, if you're not educating your people, if you're not teaching them about the cycle, if you're not giving them the knowledge, how could they become a millionaire? It's your fault that there aren't as many millionaires on the planet as there could be. I recognize it's also my fault because I'm the one with the message. I'm the one with the awareness. But now that you're aware, it would now be conscionable if you didn't make every effort to build millionaires. We agree, yes? All right. Keep an eye on the realtors in the room. All right. So this is a diagram of the 18-year cycle. Who's heard of the 18-year real estate cycle before? This is the last 3 times the cycle went through. In multifamily, we have an 18-year cycle. Here's what's interesting. It's all real estate has an 18-year cycle. Sometimes you experience that little W. If you're familiar with charting, the W means win, the M means murder. So you can see it right in the center there. If my thing works. Boom. W. Right? Like Walter, except mine's name spelled with a G, so it'd be GW. But there is no W, it's just a U. So you'll figure it out. Now this here would be an M, right? We had a little M, it dropped. But we also, right after the M star, we had a W, it went up. And then we have what's called a bull trap. Right here where it goes up, comes down, looks like it's going to go up again, and it probably comes down. And that just continues year after year after year. 7 years, 7 years. Who's heard of it's a 7-year cycle in real estate? Nope. Thinking too small, right? Like, we've heard that. We've heard 14-year cycle, right? Right, Larry? 7, 14. It's because it's made up of 2 7s and a 4. And that's what creates the 18-year cycle. And and you can go back, and you have some fun with doing the research. You can go back and see it. Now, this is something I pulled from the Fred. This is like super updated as of 4 weeks ago. Not what I expected to see on the sale of prices, home prices. I expected there to be a little bit more of an aggressive point to it. But it's got a little bit of a curve. We noticed that? We see a little curve? So in 2019, when this graph was created, we thought we were going to see a drop. And we should have. We should have seen a drop. But then the government did a mandate that said everybody stays where? Everybody stays where? Everybody stays in their what? Yeah. So people stopped selling them. They were like, pump the brakes on that. Ron and I were absolutely prepared for a slight market correction because we saw the rates going up. Everything was, in 2018, the rates started going up. We were like, okay, what do we do in a market crash? We dig our network deeper. We build more network because we can't buy anything, so we just go deeper in the network and we'll find somebody with more problems, and then we'll be able to buy that stuff. If we can't buy on the superficial surface, we go deep digger. We dig deeper, right, into the roots. Deep roots make money in real estate. Shallow roots tip over. Who saw that in Florida this past couple weeks, right? Anybody drive by through Central Florida? Fucked up. Like, people lost houses. I got buddies, lost their investments. Gone overnight. Trees just tipped because the tree had shallow roots, right? You got to dig your roots deep if you want to survive this recession. Did I mention mastery was $36,000? I point that out? Just keeping an eye out. All right, so a tree, anybody good at drawing? All right, I'll do it. It's fine. Yeah, tree. Where's my green? Come on, I lost the green last year too. So a tree has leaves. See those? I'm an artiste. And a tree has fruit. Now, if you want blue fruit on your tree, guess what? You need blue roots. But these roots are red. You can't get mad at the tree for producing red fruit if it's got red roots, right? So if you want to change the fruit, you got to change. Yes, you want to change the fruit, you got to change the. All right, so if you're building business and you're doing this out of a place of scarcity, fear, maybe proving yourself, guess what? You're going to have to keep doing that. The more money you make, the more scarcity, the more fear, the more proving yourself you have. Who here knows that's not a great way to exist? It sounds like a pretty shitty existence. Yes. So, if you want more love, more joy, or more peace, then you're going to have to change your roots and start operating from that space so that it travels up the tree and gives you some beautiful blue fruits. The reason I talk about this analogy this way at this time is because in the market right now there is a lot of fear. There is a lot of scarcity. There's also a lot of greed. There's a lot of people who are getting greedy right now when they should be preparing themselves. Just because you love real estate doesn't mean you get to buy real estate. Just because you've bought real estate the last 14 years doesn't mean that I get to go buy real estate the same way I was buying it in 2012 and 2008 when the market was at its bottom. We agree? The game has changed. I can't buy the same way. Now, the fundamentals haven't changed. The math still works. We buy at a 10 cap, we sell at a 6 cap. If you're buying anything else, good luck. You didn't get that advice from me. We buy at a 10% cap rate. We sell at a 6% cap rate. Now, a lot of times I do this, and I think I should probably point out that I will also buy at a 14% cap rate, a 15% cap rate, and a 16% cap rate. And shit, I'd buy at a 20% cap rate if I could find it. We understand that? Okay. The higher the cap, the better. But I will not cross that magic line of 10. That works no matter what the market's doing. No matter what the market's doing, you buy at a 10, you sell at a 6. Buy at a 10, sell at a 6. Can we memorize these two numbers? Buy at a 10, sell at a 6. Well, in my market, all that people are buying is a 6. Then get out of your market. Buy somewhere else. Wait till that gets to a 10, a 6, and then you sell. Sell the asset. We grasp how simple this is. All right, so this is happening right now. I do believe that the market bottom could be somewhere around 2029, 2026. But I don't have a crystal ball. I got no way to tell. Here's what I'll tell you. Shit's about to change. It's getting a little crazy, and it's going to be more like the 1940s. I know a lot of guys are saying the 1980s. But those guys are looking at the 1980s just because of interest rates. And we cannot base this on interest rates alone because we are in a hyperinflationary market, which the 1980s were not hyperinflationary. We're in a hyperinflationary and increase of rates, and we had not a war, but in the 40s we did have a war. And I'll explain why in a second. So we're going to go back to the 40s just to take a look at it. In the 40s we had a major war. And read what that said. It put nations in fear and caused massive government spending, which led to massive inflation. Put nations in fear. Next, we had 3 technologies. We had computers, nuclear power, and jet propulsion. 3 sexy technologies. Now, I know everyone who's like, that ain't shit. We use that every day. Well, back in the 40s, that was new shit, right? Real estate. Real estate, the average 3-bed, 2-bath was $3,000 acquisition cost. That was market price. And it skyrocketed. By 1949, it was $8,000 for the same house. Crazy. I know, you're all thinking like, shit, I'd like to buy it at that price. You can't. Inflation was insane. You look at this inflation chart, and you compare it to a chart of inflation right now, it looks almost identical to the 1940s. What was happening there is very similar to what's happening right now. Think about it. Pandemic, the new form of war. The pandemic puts nations in fear, causes mass government spending, which led to mass inflation. We have 5 new technologies. I threw 6 on here because Mike Shine likes electric vehicles. But let's be real, those electric vehicles are just made up of robotics, batteries, and artificial intelligence. We also have genomics, where we're changing our genes, right? We're playing around with the actual genome so we can have better sight, more power, like all that stuff that they were talking about in the 40s. We actually do it now. And then cryptocurrency. Right? Who's played with crypto? Yeah. Hell yeah, right? And Mitch is going to be talking about crypto on day 3. He's going to talk about how to take advantage of the market, how to use it, how to leverage it. And I own crypto. I talk shit because real estate's better. But I do own crypto, and I do own stocks. You know why? Anybody got to guess why? You never know. Oh, my God. But, what are you just... You got the same grandmother? No, the reason is because I raise capital for a living. That's what I do. I go out to people who are rich, and I take their money and I put it into real estate. And so I got to be able to talk the talk. I got to be able to say, yeah, I also lost money in Ethereum this week. Thank God I own real estate. They say, yeah, how do I get some of that exposure? Imagine that, right? You gotta be able to talk to your people, right? If you want to hang with high net worth individuals, buy the assets they're buying. Or you don't have to buy, a full Bitcoin, but you could buy 1/10 of a Bitcoin or 100th of a Bitcoin. I got super excited. You see, here's the deal. I bought Bitcoin twice in my life. Once at 10,000, then I sold it at 14, thinking I was a player. And then I bought it at 21,000. Learn your lessons, right? Here's what I learned. Some of my rich friends are smarter than me. They bought it at 3,000. They've been holding ever since. And so my other rich friends lost a shit ton of money, and they're like, I want to invest in real estate now. Now, you know what now is? The time to invest in real estate. Yeah, I agree. Before you lose any more, loser. All right. Where are the prices going? Well, we looked at this chart earlier. What's that look like? Looks a lot like Euphoria, doesn't it? All right, we'll go back. That chart looks a lot like this one. Like we're kind of at that little angle. And this is just big data. If you go into your local markets, you're going to feel it's a little different. Who's already felt a little shake up in their local market? Who's got anything listed right now? Selling something listed, and it's feeling like a little bit like, these used to sell so fast. What happened? Show me the money. Like before, we used to be like, I'm not taking FHA financing. I got so many offers. Ron Bowling, did we just take an FHA offer on one of our condos? We're just like, yeah. Oh, he texted me. He's like, dude, we got an offer. It's FHA. I was like, fuck it, sign it. Yes, accept. Double the accept button right now. So we're at Euphoria. We've been selling, and I found this out from Vinny. Is Vinny still here? Okay, he's outside. All right. Vinny said this to me on the podcast. This is just between you and me. All right, he's not in the room. So Vinny said this on his podcast. He said, hey, the last 7 years, I've been selling real estate. He said, I sold 26 properties over the last 7 years. He said, I only bought one property each year. Do that math. It's a net difference of 20 properties. Selling. All the way up, right? We started at the bottom. Now we're here. And we've been selling all the way up. Me and Ron started selling about 4 years ago. We just started saying, you know what? Maybe we're at the peak. I'm going to let that one go. That's cool. Let that go. We started selling condos, single families, two families, the little shit in our portfolio. We're just like, we don't want it. Stacking cash. And then major inflation hits. And we got all this cash. We don't give a shit. We also got more real estate. Right? As we're stacking, as we're moving, as we're producing. And now we're getting to the point where we're looking like, where do we deploy cash? Dude, you know who's got more cash than anybody else right now? Warren Buffett. He's never had this much cash position in his entire career. Dude is sitting on billions, which means an opportunity is coming, but he hasn't seen it yet. He's been sitting on billions for the last 4 years. Warren Buffett has been sitting on the most cash he's ever held in his entire career because it's close. He's looking for his opportunity. He's looking for his shot. Who here is also looking for their shot? Now, when I say Warren's looking for his shot, when I say I'm looking for my shot, we haven't bought anything this year. Ron and I have not bought anything this year. We've been selling. It's because we're going deep in our network. All of the relationships, every relationship I have with each one of you, that's our network. That's us going deeper in a relationship that provides opportunities for us. Deals, money, labor. Who here agrees? You do any one of those three? You provide one of those, right? Deals, capital, labor. So that's what we're currently doing. And I think that, for you to be successful, that's what I can teach at this 100 Millionaire Summit is how to go deep in your network. Because, yes, we're going to continue investing. Every one of us should continue investing, doing what we're doing. But in order to be successful in a time where maybe the deals aren't going to show up the way they used to, or the deals are slimmer, you might want to go deeper in the thing that's going to get you better deals. Now, the deeper in your network you go, the more deals you get. The deeper in your network you go, the more capital you get. Right? The deeper in your network you go, the more impactful your life becomes. Isn't that interesting? If I were to say there's a solution to any problem on the planet, I used to say that there were only ever two problems. Where did the books I had go? Here we go. I used to say there's only ever two problems in a person's life. I wrote this in the book, Get the Deal. And those two problems were either they had too much money or too much time. Who here feels like they have a shortage on both? You know what that's like? You feel like, I don't have enough time or enough money. But that's not true. If you have a shortage of both, that's simply a mindset challenge. That's a mindset issue. That's a person who likes to burn the candle at both ends. That's all. You can always have a little bit more of the other. And with a little bit of the other, you can get a little more of the first. But it turns out both time and money are simply results of relationships. Isn't that true? All the money you want is in the hands of other people. And I'll show you how all the time you want is also in the hands of other people. Elon Musk has 100,000 employees. It's more than that, but 100,000 employees. Let's say they work 40 hours a week. Yes? We agree? They do that for 52 weeks. Now they take 2 weeks off, right? They do it for 50 weeks. So he's got 100,000 employees working a full year's worth of time. They're the top people in the world of what they do. And he's only one man. How many years is he living every year? Of impact, of money, of wealth, of changing the planet. How many years is Elon living if he has 100,000 employees working an entire year each? 100,000 years. How did he do it? Leverage. There it is. Leverage. He leveraged his audience. He leveraged other people's capital, like Vinny was talking about earlier, other people's capital. He leveraged other people's time, using capital to leverage other people's time. And he leverages technology. Massive technology. So even his 100,000 people are backed by this massive technology. So he's super hyper leveraged. We catch this? Richest man on the planet, isn't he? Because there really is no shortage of time and money. There's a shortage of resourcefulness. There's a shortage of network. There's a shortage of how deep can you go in a relationship with a human being? How many relationships can you have at that deep level? That's the shortage. We talked about this yesterday with the VIPs. I've turned all my VPs into leaders. Who here knows that they're also a leader, wants to be a leader? Yes. Who here also likes free things? Come get the book. You like it? You want it? Come get it. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. My man. Let's give him a round of applause. Successful people take action. He's successful, right? The game we play right now, each one of us right here in this room, is to decide, am I a leader or am I a follower? Right? Now, I'm a follower. I'll be real. I was a follower anyway, until I decided to follow a leader. Then I started following a leader, and I became a leader. And as a leader, now I've trained leaders. Because followers are useless. We don't need more followers in this world, right? You know what a follower does? Like. Anybody got followers? You know what I'm talking about? Like, heart. I don't give a shit about your like or your fucking heart. You know what I want? I want a conversation where we go do something. I want results. I want impact. I want to change somebody's life. I want to change a community. I want to change a business. I want to innovate something, right? The like, the heart, the followers, man, it has not served me in a meaningful way. It's got me some attention. And it's gotten me some sponsors. So I'll be real, like, there's some people who are like, hey, can I pay you to wear this thing? And I'm like, no. I only wear my shit. You're wearing something that is more than just a number. 100 is a mathematical equation of what you can do. If you look at everything in life, you can count to 100. Yes, we can count to 100? Anything in life, you can basically break it down to 100 and you know you're at the right level. Right? If you got to make 100 phone calls, it's a lot of phone calls, but it's possible. Right? You got to do 1,000 phone calls. That starts to be like, I got to, do this over a longer stretch period of time. We get this? 100 relationships, you could do it because of Dunbar's number. Who here knows Dunbar's number? Familiar with it? Who doesn't know what Dunbar's number is and thinks that's some shit, like maybe Pareto's principle? Maybe we should look at that. Okay. Can everybody see the whiteboard? Is it up on the screen? We got it? Okay. Excellent. Dunbar's number. Uh-oh. That's a P. Now it's a D, guys. You got this. Everybody knows that's the D. Dunbar's number is 150. And what Dunbar's number meant was that you could only maximize the amount of people you could have a conversation with were 150. And that number was community size. You find it in cities. You find it in villages. You find it in businesses. It's everywhere. No matter where you go, Dunbar's number shows up as the maximum amount of relationships one human being can hold together. Who's already felt that, seen that in the past in their life, maybe? Well, we're going to go a little deeper. 80-20, because we like the Pareto principle. Who knows what 80-20 stands for? Shout it out. Shout it out. 80%
of all your business comes from 20% of your people.
Can we get a mic runner on Steven Beaver for a second? How did this guy become the smartest guy in the room? Everybody's heard of 80-20 principle, right? Yes? All right. What is the 80-20 principle? What does it mean?
80% of your 80% of your business comes from 20% of your people.
So if 80% of your business comes from 20% of your people, are you capped that way? You're stuck that way for life?
No.
How do you fix it?
Then you go to 80% of that 20% of those people, and that's 20% of your business.
Okay. And if you want to improve it again, how would you improve it again?
My good friend, where's Kim Possible?
So it's 80-20 of the 80-20.
Tell him, Kim.
How would I get to the next level?
Tell him, Kim. I know you know.
Kim Possible, everybody. Give her a big round of applause. Kim, what do we do?
What was the question?
We go, so we 80-20 the 150 got us 30 people. If we 80-20 the 30, what do you think happens? Oh, you know what? I already gave it away, yeah.
80-20 again, baby. Come on.
6. Let's give these guys a round of applause. Thank you both of you, thank you. So, this is the amount of people, this is people leverage. We're now talking to people leverage at a high level, right? This includes like family, friends, this includes people you see every day. This is some soul shit. This is like the people who really form you, forge you, right? And one of those people is your ego. What? Right? That's been walking around with you your whole life. You ever had those little arguments with yourself? Be like, no, we can't say that. We can't say that. But the round sets are precious. No. God, I'm not going to do it. What's your purse, press and curl, just so sweet. We've all been there, right? We got the little darkness inside of us. It's like, come on. That ego we built, right? We built that thing. That's one of your people. That's one of your 6. You have the chance to reprogram that one. You can't control the other 5. Right? We recognize we can't control other people, right? Just the ego. That's the only one we get to play with. All right. So those other 5, those are called high leverage people. Or HLPs. And those HLPs are the people who are going to change your life. If you look at you've heard the saying, right? I'm the average of my 5 closest friends. You're welcome. You're welcome, right? I'm in shape, I'm healthy, I got a great relationship, I'm rich. And so are a lot of the people in this sphere, the VIPs that hung with me yesterday, the executives who I'm looking to hang with, right? And I also believe a lot of the people who came in not knowing what they were to expect, they were like, I'll buy the $250 ticket, just see if it's worth it for me. I think you also have the massive potential to be at that next level where people are excited to hang with you. Who here agrees? Yes? We're in the right room? Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going to have some fun. So you've got to change your network. Now, how do you get to these 6? You got to go through the fucking 150. It's really hard to just be like, are you the one? I mean, you could maybe give it a try, right? Try it on. It's hard. I mean, I come up to the VIPs. I'm like, Gloria, are you the one?
I'm the one.
You the one? All right. I believe her. She's probably right. That's true. Kim, you the one?
I'm the one.
You the one? I know you are. All right. Jonathan, you the one? Been the one. Dude, Jonathan just became a millionaire this year. Let's give him a round of applause. He might be the one. It's true. We know for sure that the one's out there, right? I knew for sure before I found Doreen, I was like, I know there's a hot chick out there who's also a hustler, who's also buying real estate, would totally get down with me being on stage, traveling across the country, doing this changing the world thing. I know she's got to exist. But what I got to do is make some room for her, right? Because I was living in an apartment. I was taking the whole apartment and the basement because I'm Portuguese. So I had the basement was my business lair. I had a cigar studio on one side, and I had my place where I would do my interviews with the world, my podcast section, right? Then upstairs, I had an office for writing books. And then I had my kitchen, which was just for me eating over the sink. And, and then I had the living room, which was solely for me watching Star Trek late at night when I want to live long and prosper. And then I had my other room, which was just the master bedroom, which again was for me doing things with girls that were not appropriate for being in a relationship with Dorina, which is why she said no the first time. She said no because she's smart. She's got standards. So I had to shift some things about myself. I had to have a conversation with the ego so I could make room for the right person to come into my life. Does that make sense? So you may have to do the same thing. You may have to change something about this clown that you got out there who's not attracting the people you want. right? Or that's how I communicate to myself. You're probably already a beautiful, amazing person, which is why you're in this room. But do we have room to improve, all of us? We're all leveling up. That's why we're here. To get these people, you got to change this person. Fortunately, this person's already pretty amazing. That's why you're here. And I love you just the way you are. I'm not saying change, because I can't change you. But I am suggesting that if you did change, you might get 6 powerful new friends, new allies to take on the challenges that are coming. The challenges that guaranteed will affect you, will affect your business. Now, how do we do it? How do we do it? Can I get the names on deeds slide up there? Not to give it away, but NOD. That's the one. How do we find off-market properties and get them funded without any of your own money? Does that sound like something anybody in this room would like to do? You sure? I mean, I can do it. I can go into it. How many of you would like to find out how to find off-market properties and get them funded without using any of your own money? Say yes. Wow, I believe you. Very compelling. Where are my glasses at? Oh, Vinny, you are the man. Excellent.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. So as we continue on our journey, you are the hero in this story. You came here, you got away from your natural world, you're shifted into this supernatural world. The calling has been sent to you. I've offered the chance for you to be a leader, to raise and build other millionaires. My guess is you said, I'm not ready yet. I can't do it. It's too much. It's too big for me. I know a few of you have already said, fucking sign me up. I'm in. I see you. But every story, every hero denies the call at first. Right? Even Neo was like, I'm not following the rabbit. Then he saw the rabbit, and he's like, maybe I'll follow the rabbit. Just offering for you to come along on the journey. So the 3 keys to success are the right knowledge, right network, right accountability. Who's already figured this out? It's basically the people around you. The people you're surrounding yourself with are going to be the key to your success. They're going to have the knowledge, they're going to have access to other people, and they're going to hold you, they're going to push you to do the things you don't want to do. I don't always want to get on stage in front of people for 3 days straight. Sometimes I do want to just read a book. Sometimes I do want to just, go to the gym and eat healthy and take naps. I don't quite get my naps in this weekend. We get this? Okay. Sometimes we do things we don't want to do because it's the accountability. The people are holding us accountable to show up. The right knowledge. This comes from coaches, mentors, masterminds. Anybody recognize anybody in that picture? Yeah? Let's give them all a round of applause. This is like old school. This is like the beginning of Alchemist Nation, like back in Fall River in one of my buildings. And yet a lot of these people have become coaches, mentors, but this was a mastermind group that we built. And it became a powerful mastermind. So the 4-minute mile, who's heard this story? Knows about the 4-minute mile? Yep. According to legend, experts said that it was physically impossible for a human being to run a mile in 4 minutes. And then in 1965, Roger Bannister on May 6th broke a 4-minute mile. What most people don't know is the way he broke it. He broke that record by going and doing a even smaller piece, 1 minute at a time. He'd break a quarter of a quarter, 1 minute at a time. He'd do a quarter mile at a minute, a quarter mile at a minute, quarter mile a minute. So once he nailed the first one, all he had to do was nail the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one. He broke it down into smaller chunks. And at first, he couldn't do a minute, quarter mile. But he just focused on that, the burst. Because in his mind, he's like, if I can prove that I can do the quarter mile in a minute, then it is physically possible for me to go and do the full minute. Does that make sense? That's why my first book was called Broke to $250,000. Because the idea behind it was if I could convince them they could do the $250,000, there's a good chance I'd get them to the $1 million. We're catching this? Who wants it? Yo, you gotta take it, bro! Give her a round of applause. Yo, you got up here, right? Give her a round. Good job. See that sometimes, George, by the way, perfect example of what happens to people. Ah, smart. George, come here. I got you, brother. I'll give you a bookmark, too. Check that out.
That's how it works. I actually hurt my ankle when I jumped off.
See that? Hey, man, we can have $1 million or $1 million excuses. Get out there. There you go. An extra $1. There's money in that book. I learned that from Ron. He used to put $100 bills inside books and give them to his daughter and see if she'd read them. You know she read it if the $100 is gone. Here's what happened with George just now. Came up here, opportunity was here, the deal was right in front of him, the coach, the mentor, the guide, the mastermind was sitting right there. He went up and he said, and somebody else could have easily gotten to him if I didn't say, take it. That little call to action, little action step, take it, it's yours. Sometimes people need that little extra push, accountability, yes. So the 4-minute mile, Robert Bannister, dude, outruns everybody. You now know the process of how he did it. Within 46 days, John Landy went and beat the record too. Years, decades, centuries had gone by. Nobody ever outran the 4-minute mile. Nobody did a mile in 4 minutes, and then suddenly it gets done by Bannister. 46 days later, John Landy hits it. What's even more interesting is after that, dozens and dozens of people have run 4-minute miles. Now, hundreds of thousands of people have run 4-minute miles. Who you recognize? You got to see somebody else do it to know it's possible. This helps. This is Jim. Jim broke the 4-minute mile for me. He was my first. Yeah, you can just bring the water up here. There is no permission needed. Full on, like, bring it up here. Woo! I love you too. Give her a round of applause. So Jim Baptiste was my first mentor. He found me by me calling him. You caught that? All right, Jim found me by me calling Jim. And then Jim mentored me by me being like, hey, Jim. Hey, Jim. Hey, Jim. Hey, Jim. Hey, Jim. So Jim, the reason I was attached to him is because he was financially free. In fact, that's him there with his grandson. He only works for clients for fun. He only works with clients he likes. He said it to me. He's like, if I don't like you, I'm not working with you. I thought that was cool, because I'd never said that to anybody ever in my life. I'd never had anybody tell me that either. I was like, I got money, though. He flipped the property in my city for $80,000. I thought that was cool, because it was right down the street from where I grew up. I knew the house. I looked at the ugly house the whole time. And this was the guy who flipped it. Made 80 grand. But what changed my mind about life in the game and doing it in the city I grew up in was that he owned 13 rental properties, and that's why he was financially free. So hearing from Jim, I was like, okay, I got to figure this thing out. Now, Jim taught me the 7 steps to names on deeds. I'll give him full credit for this. He doesn't know he taught me it, because I was the one documenting and like turning it into some sexy slides and shit. But like he taught me the process to buy real estate. It's really simple. Every one of you knows this. Choose a strategy, choose a location, find deals, right? Evaluate properties, submit the offer, fund the deal, you put the money in the deal, and then manage the deal, close the deal. Real estate is not more complicated than that. Right? So if you've done any more complications to it, stop. You're too smart for the game. Right? Either you're gonna have to dumb down, right? Dumb down, get down to our level of dumbness, where we just do 7 steps, or you're gonna have to get out entirely. We grasp this? Real estate's not complicated. Stop it. Right? It's simple. It's very easy. Choose a strategy, choose a location. By the way, that is the order. You do not change that order, ever. If you're evaluating properties but you didn't choose a strategy or the location, you're an idiot. We get this? You can't buy something if it's in the wrong strategy or the wrong location. If you don't have the skills to do that thing, like don't buy it. If you don't have the property manager, if you don't have the people in place, like, that's silliness. It's crazy. Choose a strategy, master the strategy. Choose a location, master the location. Find deals, then evaluate properties. Who here has evaluated properties without choosing a strategy or location? Who here has evaluated properties outside of your locations you know inside and out? Come on, hands up. Don't lie to me. All of you, fucking all of you have done this. Yeah. Who here's evaluated strategies and deals that they don't ever intend to go down that rabbit hole? Anybody do that? Who here's like never going to Airbnb, but still has been like, well, I could Airbnb it. Yeah? Yeah. No shit, huh? Stop it, right? It's about, I'm not trying. I am fucking building millionaires this year. 100 millionaires, right? In order to do that, you gotta get out of the bullshit. You gotta stop the things that slow you down. Stop doing things out of order. Stop wasting time on evaluating properties that you're not gonna buy. And then stop not putting offers in, right? Next step, this is the next part. People will come up here like George, be like, I evaluated the property. Don't put an offer in! But my value, the offer is like lower than what they expected. Who gives a shit? Like, submit the offer, move on, right? Offer submitted, next. I don't fund the deal I don't even look at the property until I'm ready to fund the deal. There's no point in me looking at it, right? What's my looking at it gonna change, right? Is it gonna change anything about how we finance it? Like, no, this is the process. We got a picture, we understand 7 steps to names on deeds. I was on it way too long, we gotta get past this. So that was my first 2 properties. I bought them. I got excited because Jim was like, you could do this. And I was like, Jim, show me how to do this. So I started buying up property. I was buying it up like a boss. Then I got divorced. Then I wasn't buying property anymore for a whole year. 2015, I was alone. I was empty. I was broke. I was depressed. I sucked. I wasn't bald back then. This is a picture more recently. But look at how scrounged those arms are. Whew. Life sucked. So then I said, when I figure this out, I'm going to go and share as much knowledge with as many people as I possibly can. I'm going to share this knowledge everywhere. You see me doing that today? Yes? We're here. We're doing it. Cool. We're kicking ass. Give yourselves a round of applause. You're in the right room. So from the bottom, when I lost everything, to 2 years later, my comeback, I want to show you how this is done so you can believe it's possible for you. I met Tom. Tom was my mentor. This guy I made hundreds of thousands of dollars for because that's what you do for a mentor. You make them fucking rich because they're mentoring you on how to get rich, right? Yes. So that's what I did. So Tom, he used to send me out on deals. He sent me out. He like showed me like, hey, this is how you say things, how you put evaluations in. Tom called me, right? Tom didn't call me. Tom's recruiter called me. So she calls me, Nicole calls me, and she says, hey, I work for an investment company, and we're looking for real estate agents who can put in offers for us. We do about 100 flips a year, and I could talk about the splits. Would you be interested in leaving your brokerage? I was like, yep. And she's like, okay, so do you want to know what the splits are? I was like, nope. She's like, okay, so like we're an hour and a half away. I was like, cool. And she's like, so it's like, are you sure you want to like be a part of this? I was like, yes. You said investor. You said the dude's rich, and he does 100 deals a year. You had me live in your first 3 words. I was hungry. I wanted a mentor. I knew the secret to success was get around success, and I'd figure it out. Right? Like you put me around like your game, your business long enough, I will break it down. I will analyze it, and I'll have it. You don't have to tell me anything. I'll figure it out just by being around you. Who here also has that skill? Yeah. Proximity is power. I knew if I could just get close to him, right? I could smell it. I could like, 10 cap. We only put it off as a 10 cap. We sell it a 6 because he said it 1,000 times, right? We choose our strategy. We choose our location. And then we send mailers. Or then we target market them with phone calls. We skip trace. Like he taught me all these systems, all these automations. He had a team of 300 agents cold calling for him for the goose egg. His marketing paid him. Another lesson, right? In your book, you got these things in the back. They're called pages. In the last 3 pages, the 33, the 32, and the 31, these last pages, these are for you to make aha notes. Aha notes are when I take the time to step back and like hold this and say, take a note. Super clear. Your marketing must pay you. You could put that on one page, and that'd be a game changer. Your marketing must pay you. So he had these real estate agents who were dialing all these phone numbers to bring him deals. And he was running networking events that were bringing him deals. So he told me to partner with Ron. He's also the reason I do partnerships now. Because before that, I used to say, partners are for... Oh, wow, you never heard this before? Okay, let me share this. I grew up in a town with a bunch of people who were rich, and they used to say partners are for dancing. Partners are for dancing. That's what I was told, partners are for dancing. I'd be like, hey, what do you think about partnerships? Partners are for dancing. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 partners for dancing. All right, okay. Some of my mentors, my early mentors, like rich guys, I'd be like, what do you think about partnership? And they're like, oh, partnerships are for dancing. You know what partnerships are for, right? In my mind, when this guy who's super successful, who had 2 partners, told me partners were for scale, I was like, well, I heard partners were for dancing. I've heard this quite a bit from some reputable people who I do trust. They're not as rich as you, and they're not as young as you, but they're pretty reputable, and they're pretty rich. He said, yeah, how long did it take them? And how hard do they work? He said, I got 2 partners. One does the labor, one does all the capital, and I do the deals. That's it. It's like, all I do is find... Oh, no, he does capital. Yeah, he does capital. He finds the capital. His partner does the deals. Then his other partner does all the management, all the labor, like all the managing the properties. 3 partners, 3 separate categories, 3 separate components to the business. Super scale. So we brought Ron in. And once I brought Ron in, my business just skyrocket. Bought $5 million of property in 2 years. And we began mentoring other investors. So how did I buy that $5 million of property in 2 years? After being completely ruined? Want to know? It's on the next slide. I'll tell you. You gotta say yes. All right, okay. The abundance of real estate. I was driving down the street, and I noticed that this house that I bought, this three family, was worth $250,000. I knew that because I paid $150,000 and I went and got it appraised. I made $100,000, by the way, just in that thought alone. Just like, whoa, made $100,000, this is sick. So I thought, if I made $100,000 on that thing, and I also own the one across the street from it, it's another 2-family, that's $200,000, $250,000. And like I'm driving down the street, by the way, this is like the craziest moment. I'm driving down the street in my truck, and I look on the left, I'm like, that's another $500,000. That's another $500,000. That's another $500,000. And I realized on either side of the street, there was over $1 million worth of real estate. Has anybody ever had a moment like this? Where you're just like, whoa, all this money on either side. And like some people will hear this and be like, so what? Yeah, obviously. Dude, it's as simple as ownership, which is as thin as a piece of paper. There's not much to it, not much to ownership. I remembered back to a conversation with my father. My dad said, the person who owns the property gets all the rents. Now, some of you are like, owning property feels like this big, like boundary, this big thing, like the thickness of these walls. But I'm telling you, owning property is as thin as a piece of paper. It's just literally ink on paper. Whatever the weight of ink is the difference between owning and not owning. So I realized all I had to do was put my name on deeds. It was no longer about financing deals. It was no longer about finding money to buy real estate. Doesn't matter. I can have a conversation with the seller. Maybe the seller just says, sure, we can transfer fucking high fives for the next 6 years. And if you agree and you show up with high fives for the next 6 years, I agree to sell you this property. No cost. We understand that sounds crazy, but it is legal. We could do that, yes? In fact, we've had transfers where I just took over a person's property, just 100% took it over, subject to. I just like, their only requirement, just pay the mortgage. And fuck, I don't even care if you pay the mortgage. Just, I don't want to have to pay it anymore. They were just like, take it. When I realized it wasn't about getting money, when that wasn't the thing, when I realized all it was get in front of a person and see if I could have a conversation with them and find out if they'd be willing to pass the paper along. Right? Like find out if they had a problem that I could solve. Sometimes these guys were just lonely. Sometimes these guys were just in a desperate spot. They just needed this shit gone. Like it wasn't like they didn't value the paper the way I value the paper, right? Anybody heard like don't put it up on a pedestal? Right? Who knows right now you might have the deed on the pedestal. Yeah? Put your wife up there, not the deed. All right? Guys, you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Wives belong up on the pedestal. The deed belongs in your fucking hand. Grab the deed. All right, so I'm going to give you some powerful tools. I'm going to ask that you make a commitment to me. You must commit to do everything morally, ethically, and legally. You say yes? Yes. You commit? Yes. All right. Good. The only people I want to work with. So what does it mean to go all in? Damn, I meant to put another slide in. Shit. Slide's not here. It's okay. I'll create a picture. Who would like me to send you a text with the picture that I want it to be later? All right. Maybe I won't do that. I'll post it on Facebook, and I'll tag the person so that they can get red-faced all about this. Awesome. So this is not going all in. This is dabbling, right? This is like, okay, I went to the 100 Millionaire Summit, and I said I'd be a millionaire. And then I went home, I didn't do shit. Or Gualter put this thing on stage. He's like, here's this program called Mastery. It's going to be $36,000. I was like, yeah. When I'm rich, I'll pay for that, right? That's dabbling. Players, on the other hand, do something like this. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Steve Cutt in the room. Steve, where are you? Stand up. Steve. Where's Steve? Are you kidding me? I'm not doing it again. Well, I'll send you a picture of me and Steve and Dorina standing in front of that house. This picture doesn't do it justice. It is sick. That's 80,000 light bulbs. Steve, Cutt in the house. Give him a round of applause. Come up here, Steve. Come here. The next slide was supposed to be a picture of me and you, a selfie in front of that house. But I woke up this morning and I went and I worked out instead. So
Closing next door.
he's closing a deal right now. What deal are you closing, Steve? Can we get a microphone, Steve? Hold on.
32-room lodging house in New Bedford we just purchased 2 months ago. So picked it up for $9.25, doing a cash out refi for it appraised at 1.6, so we're pulling out $247 to roll back into it and do some improvements. So nice little 2-month deal.
What? Come on. Now, I know you were hard to convince. Like that masterminds and all the self-improvement shit was like, it worked at all, right? Your wife was the one.
Yeah, it was all nice.
Like Mel was like,
Yeah.
okay, sign up for this thing. And you were like, whatever, right?
I'm like, yeah.
Never saw Steve, right? Like, I met Steve once at a networking event, shook his hand, and I was like, that's a fucking huge guy. And, right?
That's
Look at
right.
the size of that hand. So,
You gotta have like a strong handshake, so.
So I meet Steve one time, and from now on, it's just Mel. Mel's coming to every event. She's learning. She's hustling. She's buying stuff. She's talking. She's leveling up. She's getting to the mastermind. She's going up to mastery. Like, she does all these different things. And we're at an event, and we're chilling. We're doing hot tub business plan time. And Steve's out there with Terry Wager, and Steve's like, I get it. I get it now. And so recently, like, they've just been leveling up, buying subways, buying rooming houses, buying the car wash. You're doing now a deal where you're buying 11 units and the building that your subway's in.
Yes.
And you're buying a deal that like should have closed. I don't know if it closed. Did it close this week? The other 3 units?
No, he needed a couple more times. So that one's like, I'm going to close him with $5,000 out of pocket for that one. So.
You're gonna close $5,000 out of pocket?
Yeah, which
Buying a
is ridiculous.
$400,000 property, right?
So.
But you got a story that I want to tell. So he's done something that is just everything that I want everyone to. Oh, literally doing the closing on stage. This is awesome. Right there, Steve. There you go. Close it up. Our holistic attorney, everybody, the closer, Mike Shine. Hey, I didn't think when I came out today that we were going to do the names on deeds training and actually literally put names on deeds. Let's give Mike Shine a round of applause. Thank you. Names on deeds. You can't make this shit up. That's the 100 Millionaire Summit, right? These guys are closing. They're just doing so many deals. So we purchased this. We locked it down. So my team actually went and locked this down for him. We used our technology. We used Alchemist Connect. We were just firing off text messages, phone calls. Our wholesalers picked it up. And then we sent it off to Steve and said, hey, are you cool with this? Steve said, yes. I happen to be in town. I just happen to be in town. I'm sitting with my dad. Melanie just happened to be at my dad's house because Dorina won't go anywhere if Melanie's not there. So, like, I take the call, right? I take the call, and I took a look at a few properties for her that day. So I take the call, and the guy says, you know what I'd like to do? I like to sell. I was like, cool, we buy. And he said, I'd really like to not pay taxes. Like, I've got a plan for that. And he said, I'd really like to have my brother pay taxes. Like, we can do that too. It's a little weird, but that's a weird request, but shouldn't be an issue. And so we ended up doing half seller finance. It was a probate deal. His father died and left him, he was the trustee, so he controls the whole thing. So his brother's getting $200,000 up front. He's carrying a $200,000 seller note at 6% interest.
6%.
And when I said 6%, I was thinking we'll go up to 8, right? And he was like, yep, I should have started with 5. So I negotiated, right? And I'm looking over at Mel. I was like, is that okay? She's like, yeah, it's worth $500,000. Buying it at $400,000, so $100,000 in equity with no money down.
1% down.
With 1% down.
1%.
The best part about this, Steve, we were having lunch yesterday with the VIPs, and Steve comes over and says, yeah, so that guy apparently who we're buying it from has a lot of money, and he wants to invest with us because we're taking such good care of him.
Yep.
Let's give Steve Cutt a big round of applause. Oh, Steve, before you go, why are you so obsessed with the Christmas lights? If you could just share, why the obsession with the Christmas lights? What is that?
So usually whenever I do something, I go pretty big. That's just how I am. And then it all started
Obviously.
with my son, Owen, right there.
Owen.
And
There
my
he is.
daughter, Lily, right over there. And so it's mainly Owen who's pushing me to decorate. You know, he was younger. This is 10 years ago.
He doesn't do that anymore, does he?
He helps me advertise now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to get him up on the roof. Maybe this year he's saying he's gonna. We'll see. So, and then I did the lights, and then Halloween we're trick or treating, right? And little old man up the street's like, "Hey, I know you," and I'm like, "Cool." I'm like, "How?" He's like, "You're the guy down the street with the lights, right?" And I'm like,
With the lights!
I'm like, yeah, that's me. He's like, I see you outside all the time. He's like, hey, listen. He's like, I gotta thank you. My wife just passed away, and she had cancer. She was very, very ill. He's like, the only thing that got her up out of the house was to go see you, your house. You know. So then that right there was, I was like, wow. If that has an effect on this one person, what effect is it gonna have on other people? Especially when I was younger, we didn't have money. You know, so driving around, gas was cheaper. They didn't have electric cars. You know, driving around, looking at stuff like this it was free, it was affordable.
Steve,
so,
this is gonna sound weird, but can you put the
passing
mic
it
like
along.
right next to your face?
Do I need to start over?
No, you're good. But we mean,
The end.
let's give Steve Cutt a big round of applause. Thank you, brother. Love it, man. Right there's fine, yeah. I love working with good people. One of my first affirmations when I got into real estate was I only work with good people. And my second part of the affirmation is, as I developed it, I said I make good people good money. And my broker at the time said that's a terrible USP. But I kept it anyway, because fuck them. You know, I knew what I was building. I wanted to only work with investors. I knew I couldn't go out there being like, I help people buy real estate, and that investors were going to get sexy about it. Like, no. I had to go out there and be like, I specifically help good people get rich, or I make good people good money. Like, that was it. It was what kept me alive, right? Like, when I was on that bucket, like, it was just the thought of being able to help good people make money. Like, that's what I wanted to do. And it sounded stupid as a real estate agent. It really did sound dumb. I can understand where my broker was coming from back then. Like, 'cause now I understand. But I stuck with it anyway, because it was true to me. It was in my core, my soul of who I am. Who here knows you got some things that you believe in your core, your soul? Stick to them. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It wasn't a good marketing tool, but it worked out. So this is dabbling, right? She's running away from the wedding. This is going all in. We understand where we're going here, right? We get it. All right, Tony Robbins says, if you want to go all in, you got to burn the boats, right? If you want to take the island, burn the boats. So one of the challenges that real estate investors come up with is analysis paralysis. We've heard of this, analysis paralysis? Yeah. So that's an inability to make good decisions due to overthinking. So one of the challenges with too much knowledge is analysis paralysis. Whoops. But I thought knowledge is power. No. Knowledge is power to not get shit done. That's what knowledge is. Somebody's got to have the knowledge, but it doesn't have to be you. The process for choosing an investment is particularly prone to analysis paralysis. Who's felt that already? Like, I don't know if I should. I don't know. Is it time? Is it the location? Is the market? Is the interest rate? Is the inflation? Oh my God, I don't know. What if the termites come back? How do you find good deals? Your network, right? People. Look at Ken Hoffman. Is he in the room? Yeah, he's part of that closing. All right, yeah. So Ken Hoffman. Ken Hoffman was in an event, not like this. This is badass. This is one of a kind, right? There's only one like this. But we were at an event, a networking event that we run every month called the South Coast Real Estate Investors Association. We were just like getting together, talking about real estate deals. I wasn't even speaking. I had these other guys speaking called auctions.com. Who's been to auctions.com? They paid me to speak. But they were also great speakers. So my whole community was like, this is great. This is awesome. So I didn't have to speak. I got paid for these guys to be there. And then Ken Hoffman talked about a deal. Ken was like, hey, would you buy condos? And I was like, dude, how many condos we got here? Remember that, Ken? I was like, how many condos? He's like, 24. I was like, you've been listening. I was very specific, right? Oh, can we get him a mic? Can we get Ken a mic? So yeah, what I had just said, like, I don't do condos, I don't do single families, I don't buy duplexes, like I specifically only buy multifamilies, right?
That's exactly what you said, yep.
So actually, this feels, oh my God, this feels
This
like
was
a
the
lot
same,
like, yeah.
And I put my hand up like this, and I said, what about 30,000 a door?
I said, yeah, I'm interested, yes. Ron, where are you? Can you talk to this man? That was the conversation.
That was it.
Let's give Ken Hoffman a big round of applause. Now, that deal, who wants to break that deal down with me right now? A deal from just hanging in the room, just being the guy who kind of set shit up. Just like, by the way, Recession Proof Challenge members, where are my Recession Proof Challenge members? My phone's going off, 1 o'clock. It's canceled today. We're staying in session. All right, so this deal, 24 condos, right, brought to me by Ken Hoffman in a room where I was just getting paid to have auctions.com speak. Got paid $2,500 to have these guys come in and speak to 40 people. I was also in that room just looking for relationships, just looking for people who might want to buy real estate because I was a realtor. I was also just in that room looking to raise some capital for any deals that might come along the way. I was just looking for relationships. That's why all I did was go to meetup.com, say we're going to get here together at this place, and I just showed up. And then people showed up. Very strange how this whole networking thing works. Who here has gone to meetups before? Just shown up? Strange. And then met somebody, yes? 24 condos. Because I was the guy who was introducing auctions.com. Because I was the guy saying, hey, by the way, this is what I'm looking for. This is specifically what I am looking for. Who knows you make more money when you're in front of the room? Even if just for a second. If you're going to be in front of the room for just a second, make sure you're asking what you're looking for. Who here knows what they're looking for right now? Are you sure? The opportunity may arise where you get to prove that. So I purchased it for $900,000. No money out of pocket. You know why? Anybody know why I put no money out of pocket? Keep going. Say it louder. Say it louder. OPM, other people's money, leverage. Yes, I didn't put my own money into it because it doesn't make sense for me to put my own money into it anymore. That's why, because I got a network. If I didn't have a network, I'd have to put my own money into it, right? But with a network, with a community, I'm able to leverage other people's money. I'm able to use OPM. The appraised value prior to closing was $2.4 million. The appraised value today is $2.5 million. I bought that in 2019 when they said you can't buy real estate. I'm like, oh, you can't buy anything. Just like Vinny's story. Yeah? Tell me I can't buy it. Nobody else could buy it. They couldn't finance it. I had to buy it hard. I went $900,000 hard, right? It was not financed. This was cash. I had to go raise the capital from other people. My equity on day one was $1.5 million. I'd like to say this before I say this and show you. Who would like to know how to make $1 million? Buy a $5 million property for $4 million. Very simple. Ready to get the math? It's simple, yes? Did I just do it? Did I prove to you that it's possible? I sold 2 condos within a couple of months. I sold them for $100,000 each. So I took money back into my pocket. from the sale of those buildings, those condos. So now I had 22 condos. Now I'm down to 20 condos. But the 2 condos I sold this year, I sold for $150,000 and $170,000, $165,000. How cool is that? The condos went up, right? 50% increase in price. Let's give me a round of applause. Yeah, I didn't do it. It was the market. It was the market. How did I do that deal? Watch the circles. Ken Hoffman brought me the deal, right? We were in a group just like this. We were in a mastermind. We were connecting every single month, every single week. We were connecting. And I got the final $50,000 to close on it from Mike Shine, who is their attorney right now. Give Mike Shine a round of applause. Because he was in the room. Because I was in the room. Because I said something. Because he said yes. We're catching this? We're catching how this thing works. Be the person who controls the room. Right? If you're the person who's bringing people in, who's giving people just a place to network, a place to stay, even if you did 12 meetings a year and you gave people a nice place to stay, and it was 5 people at first. My first networking event was 3 people. It was me, Ron, 3 other guys. It was 5 guys. It's weird, you know? But we were excited because we were lonely. That's why we started. we weren't creative. We weren't clever. We weren't looking at Dunbar's number. We were just 2 lonely guys in real estate who were like, somebody else must have knowledge, and I don't want to drive all the way to Boston. All right, so we're like, we got to do something local to us. So we did. We started our own thing. And 3 people showed up. We were excited. And then the next month, it was 5 people. The next month, it was 20 people. The next month, it was 25 people. Then it was 30 people. Then it was 40 people. Now we're in a room of over 200 people who flew to get here. Flew, right? Oh, yeah, I'll take it. Look at you guys. Amazing. But this is how it's done. Next, the accountability, right? Right? You got to have the right accountability. Because accountability solves problems with inconsistency, lack of motivation, procrastination. I go to the gym every day. It's a lot easier because Amy also goes to the gym every day. And I was going to the gym every day, but I started going to the gym at 7 because Amy wanted to go to the gym at 7. Because Amy works for us, she lives with us, and she's like, I got to go get to work. And I was like, well, I'm not going to stop that. Work must go on. So if you want to go at 7, I'll go at 7. And we started going at 7. And then before you know it, Dorita starts going at 7. And there's the 3 of us. I'm in the gym doing leg day, never, with these 2 beautiful girls who are doing leg day forever, right? Like, oh, imagine this all day. They're just like, and I'm over there like, yeah. Right? It got me motivated. It got me motivated to get to the gym. Whatever you've got to do to motivate yourself. Motivation can come in the form of knowledge. It can come in the form of information. It can come in the form of books. It can come in the form of mentors, coaches, speakers, authors, people who are your children, right? Your family. People you become colleagues, people who you're moving up, your students, your members of your community. They can all become forms of accountability. Who's already seen this? Feels the accountability in this room alone. You can feel the energy of everybody just being like, okay, like I want to be where those people are. I'm learning the thing they're learning because I want to be where they're at or where they're going to be. Accountability is powerful. So I'm going to ask that you commit, make a commitment. Commit that as soon as you see or are aware that alchemy is the key to financial freedom, I want you to go all in. Now, alchemy, again, is the definition, is changing yourself from a state of pain, misery, lack, and competition into a state of abundance, creativity, serving, being happy, bliss. We agree that's a good place to be, right? The way you do it is through transforming yourself and then transforming others. The way you do it is through building a network, building a community, and then serving them. I talk about leadership. I'm not a leader who's in the front being like, all the Jews must die, right? I'm the leader who's just like, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? What's stopping you? How do I help you get to the next level? Very different. Yeah, the other guy was Hitler. Guys, did you caught that? It was like Jewish Nazi shit. That's evil leadership. Like, you can't lead from the front and then send everybody off the cliff. You got to lead from the center of the pack and just be like, hey, how's everything going? And just listen to everybody, right? Servant leadership. That's the leader that I think this room is, that the world is missing, that this room can fill. right? That's the gap that I think that we're missing out there is people who are just like, hey, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Sure, yeah, I can find that. Yeah, you know what? This guy over here has got an abundance. You got a lack? Connect them. I also know that that's how you get filthy fucking rich, right? Be the middleman. Be the middle woman. How many women in the room? Say yes. Yes. Say whoop whoop. Hey guys, there's like 50% women in here. Say yes. We love women. You know why? Women are an addition to ourselves. It's just another person out there, another opportunity. Imagine if there were less women, there'd be less of us. Right? Alchemists, it's women, it's men, it's they, it's them. Like, we don't give a shit about your gender. We don't care like what color you are. We don't care how rich you are, how poor you are. If you're dirt poor, stay the fuck away, because that shit's contagious. But if you're like ready to become rich, if you want to become rich, we got you. We'll give you a place, you know. But you're gonna have to do a lot of work. If you're dirt poor, you're gonna have to do a lot of work. As you get richer, you transfer knowledge. As you get richer, you transfer money. Right? As you get that abundance, you keep moving, right, along that transfer. So once you agree, once you are aware that alchemy is the path, the key to your success, I'm going to ask you to go all in. Say yes? Yes. Excellent. Smart people. All right, real estate investor networks. They bring you deals. They bring you capital. I'm going to ask you to become a leader of a network. I don't care if it's in real estate. If you're like, you sell Mary Kay and you need to be a Mary Kay like network, then do that. Like, make people feel pretty. Whatever floats your boat. If you're in hairstyle, maybe real estate's not your thing. Still build a network around the concept. If you do cars, like Nancy does cars. By the way, Nancy's got 800,000 followers in TikTok, but she's never been in this room before. Give her a round of applause. Get her up. Yeah. Nancy, stand up if you can, if you don't mind. Come up here. Let's bring Nancy up on stage. Come here. Come here. Come on, she's got 800,000 followers. She's got to be used to this stage. She'll be fine. She'll be all right. Give her a round of applause. She's coming up. Come on. Come on. Nancy, how'd you get into real estate?
Sorry?
How'd you get into real estate? Let me get you a mic. By the way, you look like success today.
Good. I always do.
Hell yeah.
So I'm 26 years old. I got into real estate because, like, no offense to all my friends, I love them so much, but out of all my friends, I wasn't growing anymore. And I was like, how can I be better, right? So I was like, who is richer than me? I've been renting all my life, you know, and then, like, my entire family is always Section A. And I was like, who is taking all my money? I need to be there. So then I met Kevin, actually, and he completely changed my life. He, like, introduced me to everybody here, and, yeah. Yeah. So I just wanted to own, like, the properties that, you know, my parents couldn't, and I just wanted to give back to the community because growing up, there was a lot of people like me that are still there. So I came from that. So I wanted to see how I could change their life as well.
Awesome. You're doing it. Did amazing. Let's give her a big round of applause. Great job. Nancy. You can check her out on TikTok. Ha ha, Nancy. But seriously, and you can laugh at like how hard it is to become an influencer and the work that we put in and what she's done it in a way where she has to create constant, consistent content. I've done it in a way where I have to just shoot you a text, shoot you a little relationship. Who's felt or seen some of the impact of those texts, those messages, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, or your cell phone? It's because I understand the value of each human being. Each one of you is a valuable asset. I'm going to go through this very quickly because I am running out of time. I ran a little late. Steve, cut. It's your fault. So I'm running a little late, but this is the value of a network. Who you need in your network. Is this valuable information? If you want to build a network, say you just like, let's just pretend you were going out there and you're like, I'm going to get rich now. I'm going to become a millionaire this year. Let's pretend this was your agenda and you want to go build a net worth of $1 million this year. You're going to put all things aside, all bullshit aside. You're going to kill yourself this year. By kill yourself, I mean the old self, the one that believes in limitations, the one that is an introvert, the one that doesn't talk to people, the one that is scared to get on stage or be in a group or be a leader. We're going to kill that person this year, okay? Like Jesus had to die, right? Are we any better than Jesus? Yeah. Who said yeah? Hold on. Come on, Pastor Eric. Whoa. None of us are any better than Jesus, right? Okay, so if he had to die, if he had to kill his old self, I think we have to kill our old selves in order to get to the millionaire status. It's inevitable. There's no way you're getting there. You can't, they say you can't get to the kingdom of heaven if you're thinking like this kind of person over here, or if you're full of negativity. They're not going to let you in. I'll tell you what, I won't let you in. I wouldn't let you into this network if I didn't think you had the potential to be a great person, to be a good, giving, caring, moral, ethical person who wants to see others do well. You wouldn't make it in this room. We would have hit you with all of our marketing, and our marketing would have knocked you out, right? But who here got the marketing and was like, yep, I'm in. That sounds like the people I want to hang with, right, Mike? All right, here's the 6 people you're going to need. Real leaders. If you don't have one, be one. If you have people in your network, that doesn't mean you can't create a space, right? I used to go to all the different RIAs in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, all 15. I used to go to all of them. And I still created one that was in my hometown. And that one became the South Coast Real Estate Investors Association. I took the whole South Coast, right? How fucked up is that? Big state of Massachusetts, I'm like, South Coast. It's all right, be a leader. So these leaders, they inspire and attract the other real estate professionals. You are the marketer, which is why you make the most money. Be the person who's controlling the room. Be the person who's bringing all the people in. Because again, it's about audience. It's about attention. We've got lenders. We've got attorneys. We've got so many different people who will actually pay you to be in that room, to be the authority in that room. Yes? Anybody ever sponsor anything before? Sponsors? Yeah, a lot of sponsors. Hold up, stand up, sponsors. If you sponsored something before, right? Can we get a microphone to one of our sponsors? Actually, Natalia, don't even sit down. You're too purity not to be the one I pick on. Yeah, green dress right here, Natalia. I got you. Where's Justin? Is he here with you?
No, he's with our kids.
All right, you're speaking for Justin then. So, Natalia, why do you sponsor real estate events? That's actually how I met you, so.
Yeah. Why do I sponsor real estate events? Because it's where there's the most opportunity for people to grow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I do it.
And what do you do? Just.
I am a real estate business planning and estate planning attorney. Mm-hmm.
She didn't pay me to say that. Let's give her a big round of applause. Although, next year, I might put it in the contract. Can we pass the mic to Jonathan Mello? Let's one more time give Natalie a round of applause. She's amazing. And she's a great friend now. She lives in Tampa. That's how I connected with her. She was a sponsor of one of the events. And she wrote a book. And she created a course on Alchemist Nation. So a lot of reasons I like you. Jonathan, go ahead, brother.
So
why do you sponsor events?
we sponsor soccer for the
Yep.
kids to get them out of trouble, inspire them to be better.
Yep.
So that's why we do it. We want them to have a better life.
You sponsor events just to see the event grow.
Yes.
Just see more and more people happening. Awesome. Let's give Jonathan Mello a round of applause. Excellent. Mark Cole, why do you sponsor events? Mark's way over there. Mark, by the way, is a business partner of mine. So Mark runs Alchemist Properties for us, which I'll talk about later.
You know, I think the most important thing about events like this is that everyone comes together, everybody learns together, everyone learns from each other, and I think that the events are so important because everyone brings a little different perspective on what's going on, and by networking with people, by sharing information, I think everyone learns from each other, and definitely inspiring to see everyone here in the room, you know, just here and super interested, and to hear all of these great tips and things that maybe you knew but maybe didn't implement, and so I think that's really important. And definitely for us, sponsoring any kind of event with, you know, our man over here, he's just great because his heart's in the right place, and he truly wants everyone to be super, super successful. And I think if you're really, really interested in any way and really getting there, and you just feel like maybe I don't have it, maybe when you just pull him aside, he's going to tell you, hey, if you need my help, I'm here. And so we're software developers, and we partnered with Alchemist, and I think it's just been one of the best things. We've gotten so many outside, just not even from the event, but just so many relationships that he's already harvested, and he's been to every event around the globe probably. And for us, I mean, we just literally meet people, and just by one phone call, him or Ron or any of the team, literally we get the door opened. And for us, that's the hard thing. When you're talking to people about developing a software project or doing something like that, it really comes down to, do they trust you? And do they believe in what you're doing? And when he makes a phone call and says, hey, this guy is really great, they have a great company, they're really going to do great for you, the people who avoided our calls are now calling us saying, hey, when can we demo? When can we talk to you? When can we get together? And I'm like, rats, these people, I've been hounding these people for a year. They wouldn't even take my phone call, and all he does is make one phone call or a text, and now they're calling me. And so I think that's one of the greatest things about sponsoring events like this, is that every person in this room has something to offer, and relationships, and that's what we do, leverage relationships, and I think that's really, really the key to sponsoring an event. You just get in, it's goodwill, and you get to meet a lot of people that you otherwise wouldn't have.
Let's give Mark Cole a round of applause. Amazing. All right, so you need sponsors, right? Wholesalers. You need wholesalers, they find the deals, right? Where my wholesalers at? Come on, wholesalers, where you at? All right, we need you. You're important. You're the lifeblood to the business. You're literally the building blocks. You're like fucking amino acids. We need amino acids, right? That's how we were built. Excellent. They provide off-market deals. You need realtors. Where are my realtors at? Realtors. We require realtors because realtors do negotiations and they provide listings. I still buy things off of MLS. I have. I made a lot of money because I know how to buy something that people don't know how to buy. They put it on MLS. It should have been on LoopNet. Whoops. Not my fault. We need active investors, right? Active investors purchase property. Without active investors, I can't build millionaires. You got to be an active investor for me to build millionaires. Right? Whoop, whoop. There they are. Takes passive investors. We got to use their capital. They bring the money. And some of the guidance. Who here is a passive investor who's also bringing guidance? Really smart, right? Yeah, me too. Takes coaches and mentors. My coaches and mentors at? Stand up. Coaches, mentors, stand up. Let's give them a big round of applause. Look around, look around. Coaches, mentors, yes. Look at the back of the room too. We got a whole bunch back there. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have the accountability and the knowledge to get people to the next level. So I went a little over on the lunch thing, but this is a really important thing to understand, right? These 6 people, this is all you need. If you can build your event, these 6 will come. If you put it online, if you put it on meetup.com. By the way, who here came from Eventbrite? Hands up if you came from Eventbrite, went to Eventbrite. Eric in the back, one guy. Let's give Eric a big round of applause. Worth it. What? I texted my assistant. I was like, hey, can you put it on Eventbrite? She's like, yep. Took me one little text, and it brought one person, one soul to the event. Worth it. We could do this, right? I'm pretty sure we could do this. Yes? All right, that's your secret. We're going to go to lunch. Before we go to lunch, let me ask you a question. Would you like to do an exercise? Woo! All right, so then I'm going to shift things around a little bit. I'm going to do this exercise very fast with you. Very, 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 very quick. Okay, can we pass out the handouts? Can we pass out the free gifts? The power, the wristband of power. Who here has one from last year's summit? Who's got this one, the yellow one? Anybody still got last year's? I wear it all year long. You know why? Because as soon as this thing ends, I'm looking at the next one. As soon as it's over, I'm like, let's fill the next year's 100 Millionaires Summit. New champions. All right, pass these wristbands out. These wristbands, now as you're getting these wristbands, you're going to notice they're a little stretchy, right? Some of you are going to break the rules. Some of you got to just put it right on your wrist. Don't do that. Okay. So you want the wristband in front of you like this. You want right in front of you like this, okay? I want you to stretch it out. Bah, 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 bah. A couple times, a couple reps. You can't snap it, I promise. You're not that big. Do you even lift, bro? Did you get it? Did you get it? All right, so check this out. This is a device of training. It's an educational device. Put it in front of you. Hold it out. Stretch it up. Now, I want you to put it over your head No, you stretch it. Get a stretchy, all right? All right, so we use this because there's a couple of words. There's a couple of things that I believe that we have to fight as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as investors. There's a couple of key words that I'm fighting at all times. And the first, all right, guys, if you're hurting yourselves with these, you're ahead. You're ahead of the game. Go easy on it. We're going to turn our books to page 13. 13. You got some words in there. Page 13, right? Everybody has this book? If you find somebody else's book, text them. They lost it. All right, so find this page. First word's need. All right? That word on the right side of it, you're going to write the word I am. I used to say I want, but fuck I want. That feels weak too. I am. Get stuff done. So you got to handle these words with care because words have more power than atom bombs. That was Pearl, Strachan, Hurd. Said handle them carefully because words have more power than atom bombs. Your words, what you think about, you bring about. What you speak, you attract. So if I say I need to get it done, that basically means you're not going to do it. Right? We've heard this before. We felt this need comes from a place of lack, from a place of scarcity, from not having. So when we're saying I need to do it, we're basically saying I'm not going to do it, or I have this energy of not being able to do it around me. So need. Instead of saying I need to, we're going to change it to a more powerful word, which is I am. I either am or I am not. Stop bullshitting yourself. Stop bullshitting others. Like, oh, no, I don't want to do it. Not going to do it. Here's another one. I can't. Who's heard this one? Who said this one? Who knows somebody who said this one? Okay, I can't. What does it stand for? I can't? No. I choose not to. That's the truth of I can't. When you say, oh, I can't get there in time, at some point you chose not to get there in time. I can't afford it, at some point you chose not to bring the money. Right? Who knows, you work a little harder, you got a little more money, right? No, I mean, if you work a little smarter, you get a little more money. Hard work doesn't necessarily equate to money. Be real. If you had a few more deeds, you'd have a little more money, right? Okay, so either I can't means either I choose not to, either I don't see the value of what you're offering me. Oh, hey, can you help me out? No, I can't do that. Why? Because I don't fucking want to. That's the truth, right? Who said I can't when you meant I don't want to? Yeah, of course. Now you're clear on what the truth is. Or sometimes I don't know how. Right? Sometimes you say, I can't because you don't know how to do it. Right? Sometimes we say, I can't because I don't actually know, like, situation of making payment on a property, right? Oh, I can't buy real estate right now because I don't have the money. What? What do you mean you don't have the money? Have you considered leverage? Have you considered a conversation with somebody? Have you considered taking out a loan or credit? Like, there's like a lot of different ways where you could buy a property. Have you considered negotiations? We're catching this? It's not usually that you can't. It's usually either you choose not to because you don't want to, or that you don't know how. We're catching this? You can buy real estate. Say, I can. I can. I will. I am. I am felt really powerful, didn't it? Yeah. Feel the difference, the energy, right? The other one, I have to. And you got this in your book. Write these notes in. You can put these in there. The other one is I have to. I have to. I have to talk to my spouse. Oh, is it try in there? Shit. All right, we'll switch them around. Whoop, whoop. T-Rye. Yeah, try. I'll try. All right. Dyslexic. Who here is also dyslexic? Yeah, you get it. That's how we speak now. You're rotating them out, so I'll try, right? I'll try. What does I try stand for? What does it mean? What does I'll try mean? Means no. Just say no from now on. Yeah, thank you, Mark. All right? Imagine instead of saying, okay, I'll try to get there on time. I'm not going to get there on time. I'll be real with you. They call me 8:17 for a reason. I get there at 8:17, not 8 o'clock. Right? I'll try means no. Grow some balls. It's going to be hard, isn't it? Because in the world, you can get away with I'll try. Right? But imagine you start being the person who says no. Guess what? People are going to stop asking you bullshit. They're going to stop asking you to waste your time on shit that you don't want to waste your time on. You now have the ability to move forward with the 6 people that are going to move you forward because you're going to be communicating constantly the person that you are. A person who moves forward, who hangs with those 6 people. We get this? Okay, no more try. No. I'll try to get there on time. Dude, come on. It's lunch. We're coming back to lunch. I'm going to make it 2:15. Does that sound good? We'll come back at 2:15? Easy. Okay, everybody's going to come back at 2:15, yes? Look, here's my secret. When you go downstairs, if you go to like fancy restaurant and they start like ordering, serving you stuff, you just tell them, bring the check. But you just sat down. You want the check? Yes. I ordered. Now bring the check. You know why? Because when I'm done, I'm going to leave. We get this? Control your time. Don't let the waitress who always goes to break the second you're ready to go. All right, don't let them control your day. Right? When you're going down to lunches and you're communicate with your team, look, leave 10 minutes before you belong in the room. You know why? There's always somebody outside that door you're supposed to meet. Guaranteed. Make room for that time. Because when you're sitting there eating, all you're doing is stuffing face. But you're not getting new contacts. Eat quick. Look, eat healthy, you know. I'm not saying like intravenous the food, but unless you have that option. But what I am suggesting is that you eat quickly so that you can get back to listening. Not this, listening. I have to. What's that stand for? Who knows? I am. Yes. Because if you have to, if you say I will, it puts it out in the future. I will be a millionaire. When? Right? When? Oh, I will buy. Somebody said to me the other day in the VIP room, they said, I'm going to start buying real estate. I won't tell you who it was. He's in the front row, though. It's not, oh, she's in the front row, yeah. I'm going to start buying real estate next year. You're just going to start? Shoot, if we just start next year, it's going to take me 2 years to make you a millionaire. We got to start today. We make the money today. We don't do it. We don't start next year. We start today. We just make the decision to buy real estate. You know the strategy now. Strategy, location, right? Find deals. How do you find deals? Network, right? Literally, you can be networking, find deals. Who has a deal right now? Who has a deal they want to invest right now? They just don't have the money. Who has a deal right now? Hands up. Deal. Deal? Deal? Yeah? Who's deals right now? Deals. Deal. 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 How many deals is that? 10 deals? It's got to be at least 10 deals in the room. Yep. Just because you don't have the money, right? Who here has money, wants to invest in deals? Money. Invest in deals. Money. 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 Yep. Money. Yep. Me too. Okay. At least 10 people with money. Interesting. Who's willing to do the work? Who do we got in here who's like, would do the work if we brought the deal and brought the money? Who would do the work? Hands up. Stand up. Come on, you laborers. Oh, it's like the whole fucking room. Wow, look at you hard-working people. Give yourselves a round of applause. Yeah. All right, take a seat. Yeah, we don't will anything. We do. We take action. We don't try. We say no. I am, though. These are manifesting words. These are powerful words, all right?